Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Davis here at home, bringing you a special learning activity today. One thing I really miss about being at school, I miss seeing you guys working at learning centers. So I thought it would be fun to bring a learning center to you at your house. Yeah, that's right. Now this learning center activity involves the planet Earth. Since we've been studying the solar system and our great planet, I thought it would be fun for us to incorporate that knowledge into some writing. So here we go. If you were at school and you were working at the center, you would see this little mini poster. And on this mini poster are all words that have to do with our study on the planet Earth and the solar system. We've got Earth, green, recycle, flowers, planet, and trash. I know you're familiar with all of those vocabulary words. Now here's what I want you to do at home. I want you to think about a way that you can use each one of these words in a sentence. So you will actually be writing 6 sentences. That's no problem for you guys because you're on your way to 2nd grade. And I know you're ready for that kind of activity. The name of this center is called Serious Sentences. It says, number 1, for you to select a word from that list, and then to write a sentence, number 2, using that word. After you write your sentence, you're going to underline it. I'll talk more about that in just a minute. Finally, I want to remind you of your good writing skills. Don't forget to start each one of those sentences with a capital letter that's using an uppercase letter. Space is really important in between each word so we can see the difference between one word and the next. And of course, I know you're going to write neatly. And at the end of each of your sentences, you're going to need to add some punctuation. If you are telling using one of these words, it's appropriate to use a period. If you're telling with strong feeling, you're going to use an exclamation mark. And if you take one of these words and start that sentence with who, what, when, where, why, how, are, do, you will be creating a question. Then therefore you can use this punctuation mark, a question mark. All right, now, I happen to have here at my house some 1st grade writing paper, but I know at your house, maybe you just have your spiral notebook paper or even a plain piece of paper. It's fine, whatever you have handy at your house, you want to grab it. I went ahead and already put my name and the date. So whenever you're working on this activity, include your name and the date. And I'm going to model for you a sentence using one of these 6 words just to show you what a good sentence would look like. I'm going to select a word green. That's a pretty easy word. Got my handy dandy pencil machine with an eraser. All right, I am going to, let me think, green. Oh, I'm going to start with the word the. And notice I started with a capital letter. And I'm thinking about spacing. I'm going to get my glasses on because it's hard for me to actually see that line space. I need my magnification. The color. Now, I know how to spell the word color. But if you were working on this at home and you didn't know how to spell color, you could use your sound spelling. So practice thinking about words that you know how to spell. Those should be spelled correctly. And then if you're working on your own and you don't know how to spell a word, use your good sound spelling. That's fine too. The color green, and I know how to spell green because it's on this chart. So that one you definitely have to spell correctly. And one thing I know about the G, it's one of those lowercase letters that falls. So make sure you shape that correctly. The color green is beautiful. And make sure that you've got your B in the right direction. Now, I purposely didn't add my ending mark yet. What do you think I should put here? Period, exclamation mark, or question mark? I'm thinking I'm going to use an exclamation mark because I feel pretty strongly about that. I do think the color green is beautiful. So I'm going to add my ending punctuation. Now, I think this would be fun also. Grab a green marker or a blue marker or a crayon or colored pencil, and you can use a color to underline the word that you're using in your sentence. So I'm going to underline that with green. And then I even thought it would be fun to trace over my punctuation mark with a color too, just to kind of brighten things up. The color green is beautiful. Now, if you're going to be using your spiral, let me just model a couple words. I'm not going to write a complete sentence, but just so you can see a good way to use that line space. So I'm going to put the date. So because this type of paper is very small, the line space is very small, I'm going to actually use 2 line spaces as one. And that way it just makes it easier for me to be able to form my letters nicely and neatly. So this is what it would look like. Now, I've run out of space, so I'll just go up underneath, and I would probably just skip that space and go and continue my writing. And of course, I would do the same thing. I would underline. I'm going to write this whole sentence since I'm on a roll here. I'm going to use my colors, my color marker. And there we go. So if you have to use paper that is different from what we would normally use in our first grade classroom, that's totally fine too, because we are definitely problem solvers and we can get the job done. So let's review. Here are the 6 words that you're going to be using at your learning center at home. You're going to be writing 6 sentences. You're going to use your neat writing. Start with a capital, white spaces in between, underline the word that you used from the list, and don't forget your punctuation at the end. And here is 2 models for you if you're using different paper. All right, sentence writers, I am so excited for you to get started on this activity. And of course, don't forget to send me a picture of your great writing. I can't wait to see your work. All right, until next time, have a good one.